Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm AK Eagles, and welcome to another AK Eagles podcast. And I welcome each and every one of you here tonight to talk some Eagles football. And, some of the subjects we're going to get into is the Jimmy Moreland, Howie Roseman. Is he really the guy now? Is he King Dingaling? And I also got a special guest with me as well. He is a true friend of mine, very close with this man. And, I respect everything he brings to the table and his opinions. And, so let's get into it. Yo, what is going on, Eagles Nation? I am your boy, AK Eagles, and with me right here to my left, right on the screen. Whatever. Anyway, I want to introduce you guys to my boy, Pablo Gary. This man really needs no introduction whatsoever, but hey, man, shout yourself out. Tell them where they can find you, and appreciate you for coming on, bro.
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure to, jump on your platform, man, and talk Eagles football. So thank you for that amazing intro. I like what you've done with the place, bro. The new intro, everything's like every time I come back on your channel, you're doing something better just to take it up, man. So I appreciate that. I'm on Twitter right now, primarily at Pablo Gary too. That's kind of where I'm living at right now. But yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to talk, man. I haven't talked. I just been so quiet. It's the thing about Twitter, man. It's like you get a certain amount of characters, bro. So you can't really talk about everything. But I'm glad guys like you are consistent with the content rollout. It gives guys like myself an opportunity to vent, to talk, and just to get it out, man.
Hey, man, it's always an honor having you on because, whenever you're on here, we can just shop talk. That's one thing I respect about you. That's one thing I respect about King Kincaid. When I have you guys on, you guys keep it real and you don't give a shit what people think. You speak from the heart, you speak from the chest, you say it loud and proud, and you don't care. And I totally dig that, man. But before we go on here, I got some shout outs. What's good, BLSG? Appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. Hey, everyone, we are on our way to 400 subs. Trying my hardest. We got the 380 today. So we only need 20 more subs to 400. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe. Turn the notification bell on. And also I got some news going to be dropping here in a couple of weeks probably. But yeah, there's going to be a new network coming. It's mine and a couple buddies as well putting it together. And we got some big hitters, man, coming with us, to be honest. So, I'll tell you afterwards. But, yeah, man, it's definitely going to be some popping stuff. We'll just say that, man. So, yo, what's good, Jadis Young? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you. You're already in here, so we already know. Yo, East Coast, appreciate you, man. And definitely on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., check out his channel. I'll be on over there talking some football talk with them. We're going to be rating our top 5 QBs, halfbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive lines. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Nina, what's going on? Appreciate you so much for coming in. Thank you. Yo, Mitch, what's good? He's one of the co-founders of this whole network as well, you know. So, Luke, what's good, brother? How you doing, man? Taj, Appreciate you, sir. You know, this is why I love my chat right here, man, because whether people believe it or not, you know, Luke is a Seattle Seahawks fan. Taj is a Giant fan. You know, East Coast is a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. You know, a lot of these people I talk to daily anyway, so I know most of them. And, but I love that my chat can just come in here and just bullshit. You know, there's no drama. I love it. You know, and I respect each and every one of you in here. Thank you so much for keeping it cool. And, you know, y'all are great. So appreciate it. Yeah, no, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for rolling with me from the get go. You know, much love to you, sir. No, I'm not tired. Quite opposite of tired. Um, I guess back in our day, we'd call it wee litty.
Wee litty.
Wee litty. Yeah. Yes, Pablo is in the building.
What's
You know,
up,
listen, this is one of the truest dudes in the world, man. I love it. I love talking football with him, and it's going to be fun. We're going to have some good convos for you. Oh, I'm 18? Sweet. Let's get it. Yeah, birds 24/7, pretty much. Hey, don't give away all my secrets, bro. Stop. So listen, man. First and foremost, it was in the introduction there. Listen, we have given Howie Roseman so much crap over the years, and all should we should have. You know, he deserved each and every time. But man, has this man done a 180 for the last 2 years?
Yeah.
You know, news broke today that this man is now like top dog in charge. No one stands in his way, not even the owner himself. And, you know, it kind of makes me question some of these old picks. It's like, well, how much did Jeffrey Lurie truly have in him? You know, what is he truly the reason why? Because you're not seeing that all of a sudden. But man, I gotta say, bro, bowing to Howie Roseman. I am bowing to him. I told you, I give him his credit where it's due, and then I bust his balls when they need busted. But you know what, dude? I'm telling you right now, man, I bow to this man. He should be GM of 2022. You know, nothing should stand in the way. This roster is stone cold, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. So tell me, how you feeling about Howie right now, and all the news you've heard and everything he's done?
Honestly, you know, I'm overwhelmed. I really am overwhelmed as an Eagles fan. It's hard not to smile ear to ear, bro. It's really hard not to smile ear to ear. But we know, you know, that the off season is just the off season. You know what I mean? As a fan, we understand, okay, you can bring in all these players, but they still got to go out and do it. But I still think it doesn't take away from the fact that what he was able to do, how he was able to turn this roster over is just absolutely phenomenal. To take a team that, you know, was so young, inexperienced, and then the next year put us in a position where, in my opinion, and I'm not putting expectations on this team, I just feel like we can at least go to the playoffs. That's the bare minimum, right? So it's just exciting, man, because you see the evolution, the change, man. You like the Philadelphia Eagles, Howie Roseman in particular. You know, he used to, you know, get guys out of college who wasn't really proven. You talk about Jalen Reagor out of TCU. You talk about the Derek Barnett's out of the world out of Tennessee. You talk about Nelson Aguilar, you know, out of USC. These are all big schools, but they're not the best schools, right? And so if you look at the track record, you look at what Howie Roseman has done. You know, even Jeffrey Lurie came out and he said, you know, hey, Howie, like, why haven't you been drafting guys from Alabama? Like, why haven't you been getting guys from Georgia? And It's just crazy because when you sit and you think about it, you say to yourself, "Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me Howie Roseman was able to draft the best wide receiver, actually the best player in all of football, and Devontae Smith, right? And then he followed that up and draft Lander Dickinson, who was voted the best offensive lineman at his position in all of football. Then you think about this year, drafting N'Kobe Dean, who won the Buckus Award, which that goes to the best linebacker all of football. Then you bring in the best defensive tackle in all of football. So the thinking has changed in Philadelphia, and that's what I love. We're no longer, drafting, low tier, college players anymore. Like if you're coming to Philadelphia, you better have gotten to the national championship, have helped that team get to the national championship, or been darn close to it. So for me, it's really exciting because in the offseason we said, when is Jalen going to get his guy? All hope was lost. All hope was lost. We didn't think we could get an AJ Brown, and then boom. We didn't think we could get Jordan Davis. A lot of guys say, hey, Jordan Davis is not going to make it past 10, right? And we know what happened with N'Kobe Dean. So a lot of it is kudos to Howie. I think a little bit of it is a little luck because, come on now, N'Kobe Dean dropping all the way down to the third round. It's kind of crazy. So I'm excited, bro. Honestly, I'm excited.
I heard a funny story Howie told the other week. It was a couple of weeks back. I guess he went to a 76ers game. And he was with his kids and his wife, and he was walking through the stadium, and an Eagle fan passed. And he's like, normally, I'm a pretty laid back individual, but he's like, this fan walked past, and as he walked past, he yelled, "Hey, it's about time you do something." And he turned around and he's like, wait, hold up, excuse me. He's like, so I get no credit for 2017? All right, bro. All right. Like, and I kind of laughed about it because it's like, yeah, like we are harsh on the man, but you got to remember he did give us a championship in 2017, so he knows what he's doing, but it kind of seems like now the news is breaking that the man was kind of handcuffed in a way to a certain point, whether that was through ownership, whether that was through other situations, who knows? But now that the handcuffs are off, you're seeing something different. Now, does it stay this way?
Yeah.
I don't know. But in the meantime, and right now, it looks like we're moving in the right direction.
Right.
Now, with the moves that are made, with the acquisition of AJ Brown, which is amazing, like you said, that was probably the best thing we've done. And when you look at all the rosters in Philly, between the basketball, the 76ers and the Phillies, the Eagles are actually doing something with their team. They're building around their young talent.
Yeah.
What do you see in this offense? Now that we got the weapons that we have offensively, and like where do you see their ceiling?
Well, you look at last year, you look at the fact that we led the league in rushing. I don't think that changes. I actually think we will probably lead the league in rushing again, just because when you got bona fide, legit superstars on the outside that your cornerbacks have to deal with, right? And then you got Dallas Goedert at the tight end position. Let's say Nick Sirianni just sends AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Devontae Smith just run straight. Those guys have to commit to those guys, right? So what does that leave? That leaves a whole bunch of room for Jalen Hurts to run. And this is why I think the addition of AJ Brown is so important. Is because cornerbacks, they can't just stay around the perimeter. If AJ Brown runs a fly, they got to respect it. If Devontae Smith runs a 15-yard in route, they have to respect it. They don't have time to wait and spy on Jalen Hurts and sort of stack the box. So for me, I see a very, very balanced offense. I see a high-powered offense. You know, when you got guys like A.J. Brown on the outside who can truly win their matchups, Devontae Smith who can truly win their matchups and get open. I think the biggest problem was not that Jalen Reagor just sucked. I just think he just had a problem with getting open, and a lot of that really boils down to the player's mental, right? Jalen Hurts is a dog. Mentally, he's a dog. And so what you got to do with the dog is you got to put more dogs around him. Devontae Smith is an absolute dog, right? So Jalen now has guys that are confident in their ability. You got Jalen Reagor on the opposite side, right, of Devontae Smith. He doesn't know if he can get open. He doesn't know if he can make the big time catch down there at the Giant Stadium. He is still trying to figure himself out. The Eagles have superstar wide receivers who know that they can produce, who know that they can get open. And when you have your wide receiver not leaning on your quarterback and Jalen to go out there and sort of be that leader, that just makes the whole offense balanced. And we're not even getting to this offensive line. And to be quite honest, in my opinion, the Philadelphia Eagles have the best offensive line in the National Football League. When you talk about the starters, when you talk about the depth, it's really like night and day. And so, you know, I give Howie praise there as well. So when I look at this team, play action is going to be deadly. I think we're going to see how a true wide receiver truly helps a quarterback. You know, truly helps a quarterback. And the guys were, you know, last year guys was dropping a ton of balls, bro. A ton of balls. A lot of people don't really focus on that or put the emphasis on the balls that were dropped, you know, pause. So, you know, I just think that Jalen Hurts, he's going to play a little bit more freer. And I think when you got a guy that you know can get open, and let me say this, not just a guy, right? A brother. You know, A.J. Brown said, Jalen is not just my friend, it's bigger than football. He's my brother. And I think the Eagles have something special. Like, there's something in that locker room right now that I'm not saying is exactly like our Super Bowl run, but they like the moments when the Eagles was electric sliding and dancing out there and just having fun. You don't do that with guys that aren't your brother. You don't do that with guys that you don't like. You already see Darius Slay and A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert on a private jet together, playing cards, playing spades, talking about life, chopping it up, right? Nothing to do with football, right? Those guys are always 9 times out of 10 going to have success. And I think accountability is a big piece right now in Philadelphia. And, you know, I think that's going to take us where we want to go.
No, man, I love that because, you know, you went with the whole Jalen Hurts, AJ thing. Listen, man, Jalen Hurts is his daughter's godfather. I mean, these boys, like you said, they practically are brothers. You know, each off season, even before they were teammates, he was always at AJ's place or AJ was at his. They were always playing football together in the off season. Dude, these guys have been building chemistry this whole time without even being on the same team. It's going to be like night and day for them as soon as it happens. You know, I think AJ is going to be the reason you do see Jalen Hurts succeed. You know, listen, I'm a very strong believer that Jalen is going to be our starting QB for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And sure, people can sit there and knock the kid on arm all they want, but I look at more than just that. You know, what he lacks in arm, he makes up for in legs, first off. And secondly, his mentality is what makes him greater than most. Mm-hmm. You know, I watched Gate City. He had that one quarterback guy on, and he interviewed him, and they talked about the difference between Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. You know, and they said that Carson Wentz had Andrew Luck mentality. You know, where Andrew Luck never really wanted to play football. He was just really good at it, and he knew he could make a living off of it, so he did it. He really just wants to live in a cabin with his family up in the mountains, like in Montana, and just live the rest of his life. So he made the money that he wanted to make, and he got out. Well, he said that's the same way that Carson Wentz is. He doesn't really care about playing football. He's just really good at it. So he's trying to make the money he can make and then get out and live the rest of his day with his family. They were like, Jalen Hurts, he's a football guy. He wants to learn.
Right.
He'll drive himself to be the best he can be no matter what. And he'll take his mistakes and he'll accept them. He'll move on, And you're right, man. Like that's what's going to make him leaps and bounds better than what we had before. That's what pushed $130 million quarterback out the door. That's what pushed Doug out the door, so to speak. Like this kid, there's something about him. It's infectious. Whenever you watch him, whenever you listen to him talk during his interviews, like there's just something about him. It's a swagger. He's got swag for sure, and it's infectious with everyone. And you made the comment about how the locker room in 17, how it was a brotherhood. Well, we didn't have that brotherhood in 18, 19, 20, and 21. Mm-hmm. We didn't. It wasn't there. You kind of see that right now. They're posing for pictures. They're having fun. They kind of got their swagger back. Mm. And you kind of see it. I also said before, I was like, listen, I can really see Jalen Hurts having a Carson Wentz year 2 leap, in all honesty. Mm-hmm. And I said that before they even acquired A.J. Brown. Mm. I said that a while back, and people were like, oh, that's hard. Well, you're right. Football is about chemistry. It's about trust. It's about brotherhood. If these guys believe in one another, man, sky's the limit. And in all honesty, our schedule is not that hard. If these dudes really truly come out and play as a one unit and they believe in one another.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing that you said that I liked was you talked about how Jalen Hurts drives himself. Like you look on Twitter, just all over social media, there's like this narrative and notion that Jalen somehow won't live up to the pressure. And he's the type of guy who's always, been, self-motivated, self-driven. And, what I like about when somebody drives their self, it's not hard, or it doesn't bother them when a teammate drives them, right? You talk about that accountability. And listen, it's always a recipe for success when your quarterback can be held accountable. I mean, so many times, I'm watching a game last year and Nick Sirianni is digging in Jalen Hurts' butt, bro. And, he's not pouting. He's not sitting on the bench. He's literally right there taking it. He may be looking at, different way, but he's taking it. He's right there. And that's what I love about Jalen Hurts is he's not afraid to be held accountable publicly. He's not afraid to admit, his wrongs publicly. And like, it's crazy, man. This kid is 3 years away from being 20 years old, man. How many 20-year-olds can go in the locker room and lead Fletcher Cox, lead a 34-year-old Jason Kelsey, right? Have the confidence of Howie Roseman, have the confidence of Jeff Lurie to build around you, right? And so for me, this is a time in Philadelphia where as a fan, you got to appreciate these moments. Don't let these moments just fly by. One thing I regret coming up is not really appreciating the Donovan McNabb era or not really appreciating the Michael Vick era, just because, these are just times that just go by super quick, man. And so this era in Philadelphia has been the best era of my life. I'll be quite honest, man. And I think the next 10 years, the Philadelphia Eagles, we're going to see exciting plays that we've never seen before. We're going to see so much, just like Jalen said, man, like the sky is truly the limit with this team, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, no lie, man. And it all starts with that offensive line, and for one, hands down, probably the best late round pick ever, Jordan Mailata, is our left tackle. And you know, in all respects to JP, you know, I know he's still doing his thing over there in Chicago. Justin Fields, good luck. Sorry. You know, he's a legend, but dude's like 41, I think now, right? So I don't know how effective that's going to be, but hey, good luck.
Give it up.
Yeah, but I love the man, but you know what? That was very big shoes to fill for Jordan Mailata, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he's filled it in nicely. I gotta say, the dude's.
I think it grew a little bit too.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and then last year, a lot of people questioned the Landon Dickerson pick. You know, we were like, oh man, this dude's tore his ACLs twice. Like, geez, God, you know, like.
Yeah.
But hey, look, he turned out to be solid, man. Like, I have no complaints. I didn't even actually really complain when we picked him. I questioned it because I was like, we really did an injury again, like we did Sidney Jones, seriously. But it high risk, high reward. We got the high reward for it. So for right now, great pickup because him and Mailata, holy shit, bro. Yeah. What a duo over there. That is the Twin Towers of linemen, and no one gets to his left, you know?
Yeah.
Then Kels, he's a boss. Best Philadelphia Eagle center of all time, possibly even close to being the best Philadelphia Eagle of all time. Okay?
He's up there.
And this man handpicked Jernigan. You know, so we all know what that's going to be like, hopefully. And Sayamalu should probably switch to right guard, I believe, if all goes that way. Or maybe Dickerson does really well and stays healthy and they end up shipping him out for something else. Who knows? I don't know. And then Johnson. So that is a very stout offensive line, man. And I know we all give Howie shit for building in and going outward, but when you look at the defensive line and this offensive line, you can thank him right now because these are two very deadly lines.
Yeah, I think the sexy picks are going to come next year in next year's draft. Like, we're not using our first round pick on the offensive lineman. We're not using our first round pick on the defensive lineman. We did that this year, right? I think you're going to get that cornerback. I think you might get that safety. You might get that maybe another great linebacker. Who knows? Maybe one of the best defensive ends, right? So, yeah, I think where the Eagles sit right now, offensive line-wise, I think we're set. And I know a lot of people are sort of sour on Andre Dillard, but I think he's quietly building up, man. He's quietly building up, and I think all those years with Stoutland, you know, I think the Eagles are going to be able to salvage Andre Dillard and Jalen Reagor. I really do, because you think about both of their positions and the additions that they added to those positions, having that first round tag on them. They no longer have to feel pressured to feel like they got to be the guy, right? They can sit back. The whole world knows Andre Dillard, you're not a starter. The whole world knows, hey, Jalen Reagor, A.J. Brown is here. He is here to be our playmaker. Devontae Smith is here to be our playmaker. Do what you can do. We're going to allow you to grow. And so I know Jalen Reagor's been soured on, and so has Andre Dillard. But I truly believe those are going to be key pieces later on in their development. Some guys just catch on later. Some guys, that's just how it is. And if you can have Jalen Reagor as your fourth wide receiver behind Quez Watkins, a former first-round pick, really tap into, his skill set. Now you got a former first-round pick going against a likely 6th or 7th round guy, right? So it really just makes this Eagle team a mismatch everywhere. And I think that's what our offense is going to lean on. We're going to feed Miles Sanders. We're going to feed Gainwell. We're going to feed those guys, right? But now we got guys that could truly make plays. So teams, they got to respect the Philadelphia Eagles. They have to respect us this year. There's no more just trying to jam our receivers on the outside. Because pretty much all Jalen Hurts was working with was one side of the field. right? Like 17 games and all Jalen Rager has is 300 yards. You divide 300 by 17, right? Yeah, you look at those numbers and you tell me if that's something that Jalen Hurts could truly work with, right? One side of the field, right? So for me, this offense is going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Yeah, man. Listen, when I look at this kid and I look at what he did last year, with the limited talent that he had, all right, how can you sit here and not give him more? I mean, he had 9 wins, and I get why him and Dallas Goedert weren't on the same page, because you know what? At the beginning of the year, his tight end one was Zach Ertz. Dallas Goedert was Gardner Minshew's tight end for the whole first half of the year. He was used to Zach Ertz, and that showed whenever Minshew was in the Jets game. Dude, that Minshew and Goddard were like connected, so you could tell they were throwing all year. And so Hurts had to completely learn his whole new tight end position all over again, because Goddard plays differently than Hurts, and you had Smith, who was still learning. Quez, he's still learning. He's beasting, but he's still learning. And then you had Rager, who couldn't catch a broadside of a barn. So, it's one of the – and JJ as well. And Miles couldn't stay healthy. Offensive line, thank God they did. But, you can only do only so much with what you're given. So, with everything we've added offensively and defensively – how dare anyone sit there and say that we're not going to be better than what we were last year, And it's truly remarkable, because I know a lot of people put Dallas over us just because of Dak, because he's the experienced one and supposedly he's the better one, When you look at Jalen Hurts in the playoff game against Tampa, he had 256 yards. He had one touchdown, one interception, right? One touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Dak had 256 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Who was on his team? A lot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had Cooper Kupp, he had CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott. Their offensive line was still good.
Yeah.
Their defense was really good last year, but he did the same numbers as Jalen Hurts. The same exact stats. Okay. His offense was way better. Way better. Let's be honest, as Eagle fans, Dallas is, dude, they were working with damn near 3 first-round talents at wide receiver.
And to add to that, that talent that they had, right? They've had a consistent offensive playbook. They've had a consistent head coach. They've had a consistent defensive head coach as well. So, it's funny. On paper, I say the Eagles are better. And here's why. Yeah, you got Dak Prescott, but at the end of the day, we saw what Dak Prescott looked like without a running game, right? We know what he looks like without a bona fide wide receiver, right? So if they're putting their trust in Michael Gallup and asking CeeDee Lamb to essentially have the offense run through him, I don't know if he's ready for that, because really you double team CeeDee Lamb and you're asking Michael Gallup to sort of win you ball games. And I don't know if that's the recipe for
I ain't trusting Johnson either, bro.
Absolutely not. So now what's going to happen is, now what you do is you force Dak Prescott to start doing things outside of his norm. He just had a major lower leg injury. So now he has to start running the game. That's why Dallas is not going to work. They're not going to work because they were at best where they just kept him in the pocket, let his wide receivers beat one-on-one coverage, allow him to sit back there with that, that offensive line, deliver the ball. Now that he doesn't have that trio. Like, you can't break up the big three and think that, he's better. Like, that was the big three: Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, and Ezekiel Elliott. And Ezekiel Elliott has been declining every single year, right? And their offense, what's so weird is he's declining, and their offensive line is declining as well, right? Like, so it's not like one, one is getting better, one's getting worse. Like the running game as a whole is starting to really fail, right? And so they're going to ask Dak Prescott to do it all, and I think what the Cowboys are going to ask Dak Prescott to do is what the Eagles asked Jalen Hurts to do, right? But Dak Prescott was asked to do that 4 or 5 years, like 2 years into his max deal. Jalen Hurts was asked to do it, right, 2 years before his deal. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy how it all works.
Well, and that's the thing too. You made a valid point where CD Lamb goes to number 1 now. That is my honest question. We've all seen CD can eat in the slot. Okay, that's taking on slot receivers, and that's cakewalk for him. Awesome, because Amari Cooper took all the pressure off you to do that. Okay, now you're going to be going up against, like, all right, I'm just going to shoot names out there, but it might not be them because I don't know their schedule, but like the likes of Jalen Ramsey's type S corners, the true number 1s. And here's the thing. If they know that you have a weak offensive line, first off, your offensive line last year was number 1 in offensive penalties. And then you go out and you get Brandon Smith, who was the number 1 overall penalized NCAA offensive lineman last year. And you're like, oh, well, we're going to move him in the guard. That will limit the penalties. Bro, holding is holding.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what, if you're at tackle, guard, center, holding is holding.
Holding, yeah.
Like if somebody beats him, he's going to grab him just to save face, like that. Holding is holding. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you can beat it out of him if you want to, but I don't know if that's instinct. If he's used to just grabbing if he gets beat. So I don't know how well that's going to go for him. But if they know they can stop CD Lamb by just double teaming him, bro, they just made him one-dimensional, which means they're going to run the ball. And if they know that that's going to happen, then all they got to do is stop Zeke and Pollard, and they win.
Yeah. What's so crazy is when I look at CeeDee Lamb, you know who he reminds me of? His situation. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb reminds me of Antonio Brown and a young Juju Smith-Schuster, right? I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be exposed now because that true number 1 receiver is now out of the picture. Like you said, now that he has to step up and be the guy, it's one thing to hide behind the guy and say, oh, pay me because I can do this. But now when you see double teams, now when defenses are keying in on you, can you still produce the same way? And I don't know if CD can. Big play, yes, he can make big plays all over the football field, but it's different when you're asked to be the guy, right? And so when I look at the Eagles defense, the Cowboys don't scare me one bit.
Yeah. No, and listen, Cowboy fans out there, listen, I have some friends who are content creators who are friends of mine who are Dallas fans. Okay, I want to tell you, I'm not disrespecting you. I'm not. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that I don't think CD Lamb, if he is a number 1, especially this year, only being this is his second year, correct?
Second or third.
Second or third? Just jumping, though, from slot to wide receiver 1, that is a huge adjustment. You're taking on the top talent at that point. I don't believe that he's going to be successful like he was. And when I say that is, if I don't know how many yards he had last year, but we'll just say he had 1,200 yards, he might have 900 and some yards. But when I say that, that's only because he's being locked down more. He's being successful by opening the field up for Johnson and by opening it up for Gallup. They're going to have good games, I guess, if you want to put it that way, to where sometimes he will be very limited because of the talent he's taking on. It doesn't mean the kid sucks. It just means it's a different level, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's appropriate for sure, man. So let me ask you this question. Like,
yeah,
what are you most excited for. And as an Eagles fan, I've never actually, I don't know if there's a time if I've been more excited for the offense or the defense. So for you, like, are you more excited about this defense or are you more excited about the offense?
I am excited about the defense, bro. And that is one reason why. I have preached it and preached it and preached it. Hell, we have talked about it. Still, if you remember, still. Yo, Jordan Davis is the real deal. I love this kid. I think I told you from the get, this kid is the heir to Fletcher Cox, and he will do nicely. He will be the Warren Sapp of the run game. No one will go through anything. He will shut that entire middle down, and it will be a no-fly zone at all. And dude, I love that pick. And just jump in Baltimore, he had to do it. He had to because they would take him. They would have taken him. So I give Howie all the props in the world for that. And then using 18 to get AJ, man, like. But Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, hey, listen, I don't know how the hell that happened. Nakobe Dean did not miss a single game last year as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I know, he didn't. So if his injury wasn't bad enough to keep him from playing, then why did he fall? Because he played. If he missed time due to it, and the doctors were saying that he didn't need surgery, he'll get it next offseason after the season's over. If the doctors are saying that, then why is there a red flag? You know, like he played through it. So I have no concerns. I think Nakobe Dean is going to be out there. He'll be playing. But yeah, man, two solid Georgia players.
Yeah.
They were both the heart and soul of their defenses.
Yeah.
And I love what Howie's trying to do, bringing in championship team players together to try and build a winning culture, because that's what they're used to doing, is winning.
Man, what I love is, I mean, just think about it. Like when guys win national championships and they come out of, their, respected colleges, right? You talk about Devontae Smith winning a national championship with Landon Dickerson at Alabama. You talk about Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis winning a national championship at Georgia. Like, those guys are like sort of competing against each other. They're like, yo, I know you guys won it this year, but we won it the year before, right? So on offense, you got Devontae Smith and Landon trying to show Nakobe Dean and Jordan on defense, the standards that they held up for them to win a national championship. And Jordan and Nakobe are like, nah, this is a standard of what it takes to get to the championship, right? Then you got your savvy veterans, right? Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Jason Kelce said, "Oh man, we won the big dance, right, on the biggest level, right?" So you talk about like just think about just imagine Jason Kelce, Fletcher Cox, Lane Johnson, Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, just chilling in a room, man, chilling in the cafeteria, talking about what it takes. Even Jalen Hurts, he played in the national championship, right? So just talking about having a casual conversation about what it takes to be a champion, right? Only champions can have that conversation, right? So that right there is a great place and a great nucleus that the Philadelphia Eagles have, man. And I think people are really underestimating. Like, these guys know what it takes, man. They truly do. And so the fact that Howie was able to double dip in two consecutive drafts to get two national champions is crazy value. And I think that's why we see the Philadelphia Eagles taking that step. And I think that's why we're going to continue to see the Eagles take that step for sure. Yeah, I like Joey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Thank you for that update. I saw we did grab a couple people today. It showed up on Twitter, but I didn't see that one. That's awesome to know. So I'm feeling a lot of hate from East Coast right here. That's my boy. I'm not even mad, but no, man. I know CD is good. I told you, I'm not. I'm not
You said he
saying.
was good. What do you want us to say?
Yeah, I'm not saying that the boy isn't good. I said he's not. He might not get his 1,000 yard season because he's going to be a more focal point because he is the number one. I never said he wasn't bad or wasn't good. I said he's good. He's just going to be a highlight now. And before it was Amari. Everybody focused on Amari. Yes, they focused on CD, but Amari was the main guy. You know, that's what freed him up. I'm just saying he's now the highlighted guy. So it's going to be a little different. I never said he sucks. I just said he's going to have to compete a little harder. That's all.
CD.
There's nothing wrong with that. Just like AJ is going to have to fucking compete a little harder. He's got the number ones over here now. He's not in the AFC anymore. He's in the NFC. It's a little different over here.
Yes,
so
it's not a given for anybody. Like CD Lamb is my guy. Like he was with Jalen Hurts, at Oklahoma. We talked about how he can still make big plays. We talked about, how he has all the talent. It's just when it's one thing to play behind the guy, and then it's another thing to be the guy. If he could probably go out there and put up 1,800 yards. I doubt it against the Eagles. I doubt it against Bradbury. I doubt it against Darius Slade. So we'll see.
James Washington is excellent. Yeah, take that argument to my wife, who is a Steelers fan. Good luck with that one. She will beg to differ with you, and a lot of other Steeler fans will beg to differ with you too. He was not liked very much. He dropped a lot of balls for them at crucial moments. Pause. Drop some balls. but I'm telling you, bro. I'm not hating on the guy. I'm not saying he's bad. Hey, he just might not have been built for Pittsburgh. I don't know, but he did not do them some favors from time to time by dropping some balls at crucial moments.
Favors. CD Lamb is the truth, bro. I mean, CD Lamb is the truth. He is the number one wide receiver.
Yeah, no, Joey Porter was a dog, man. Oh, man, he was a terror for years. People feared that man. Yeah, 51, right? Or 52?
Yeah,
was it 51? Yeah.
51, yeah. Joey was a dog.
Oh, yeah.
His son's a dog, too. He definitely plays. He plays like a linebacker at that cornerback spot. I like Joey. I like him.
Not you or Pablo AK with the CD comment. That was for the chat. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I give him his props where they're due. Listen, he had some remarkable catches last year. I ain't gonna lie, and even Gallup, dude. I'll give him his credit where his credit's due.
Yeah, because he pissed all over our secondary. I mean, our lawn is yellow. It's yellow. It was green before the game. It was yellow afterwards. CeeDee Lamb was a problem.
No, man. Listen, that toe drag swag, man, that was dope. I will give him all credit in the world. Now, granted, I mean, Devontae Smith dude, listen. Well, let's talk about that kid real quick, man. This kid is going into his second year, and I got to say, I looked back over his highlights from last year, bro. Some of his toe drag swag that kid's got going on, dude, he's going to make some amazing catches in this league. Yeah. He's going to make some people's jaws drop. Like, I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know what's coming, but, dude, if he develops as the way we all think he is, dude, Smith got them. He's got them Flintstone toes, them twinkle toes, bro. He can get it.
Yeah, he's a bona fide wide receiver, and that's why I love the AJ Brown, get so much, is because, like, it's truly a 1A, 1B. Like, they are true specimens at their particular craft. And you talk about AJ Brown being the bigger wide receiver, more physical. Probably, I love his run after catch ability. Devontae Smith, your toe drag swag kind of wide receiver. can route you up, could get your hips turned different ways. It's so much sauce on this offense, and I think they just help each other. They just help each other. Their games really help each other, and I think Devontae Smith is going to eat this year because it's Thanksgiving every single Sunday. Thanksgiving it's every single Sunday for this guy, right? So Jalen Hurts, he got to, I'm not one to say Jalen Hurts doesn't have an arm because I don't have amnesia. I do know that Jalen Hurts' first NFL throw was a touchdown, which is weird. He doesn't have an arm. His first throw was a touchdown to Greg Ward against the Packers. So I think Devontae Smith wins from the A.J. Brown get this entire offense. But Devontae, it's hard to say he's going to have a breakout season. I mean, he's already broken out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, all right. Well, then let's look at it this way. I've seen some people say we have 2,000-yard receivers on this team with A.J. Brown and with Jalen and with Devontae Smith. Well, I want to throw something at you. I want to know. First off, I'll go second. I want to know your take. Do you think AJ and Devontae both have 1,000-yard seasons, or does AJ or does Smith or one or the other? How do you see that playing out in your opinion?
I do, man. I see AJ hovering right around 1,100 yards. I see Devontae hovering around 1,000 yards as well. I see Dallas Goedert around 700-800 yards. It's hard to, when you got superstars on the outside, somebody's going to eat. And that's why I like this offense, because you can't stop everybody, right? And we forget about, again, Jalen Hurts' running ability, right? And that's the value that he's going to add. Cornerbacks, they're going to be scared to play us because you have to stop true number one wide receivers while hoping, the running quarterback doesn't scramble on you. So now you didn't cover Devontae Smith 20 yards down the field. Now, here you go, got to run back down the field to go tackle Jalen Hurts. I mean, think about that. A cornerback is literally running backwards 20 yards and then have to run forward another 10 yards just to make a play. It's just, when you look at the game and understand how, when you get guys going vertical and sideline to sideline, that's all this game is, going forward and back, left to right, sideline to sideline, conditioning, all of those things, right? So I would be surprised if those guys didn't get 1,000 each. I mean, it's not hard to do. I mean, it's 17 games, right? So 80 yards a pop, right? 95 yards a game. They got it. So for me, I think Jalen's going to have the time. Defenses are not going to do what they're accustomed to doing to the Eagles and just pressing our guys, blitzing. No, you're going to have to respect us. AJ is a real dog. Devontae Smith is a real dog. And you got to play. When you play the Eagles, you got to strap up and play us. It's no more the kid games. And so I would be very shocked if the Eagles didn't have two wide receivers that eclipse over 1,000 yards, for sure.
Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I might trigger some people here with this one. A.J. Brown, I don't believe is going to have the 1,000-yard season. I believe he's going to get to at least probably around 985, almost 1,000. But I only say that because of what I said for the CD Lamb thing. I believe A.J. Brown is going to take a lot off of this offense. Like we talked about earlier, it's going to open up Jalen Hurts. It's going to open up Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins, Devontae Smith. It's going to open up everything. So I see him being very effective, but with just a little under 1,000. I see Devontae Smith getting just over 1,000 yards. But I see Quez Watkins with 1,300 yards, bro, in the slot.
Not mad at it.
I think Quez is going to eat in the slot this year, dude. If we do it right. I'm not even saying he's going to start in the slot, but if they do start him in the slot, bro, I expect Quez to have that kind of Cooper Kupp effect.
I think Quez can eat this year. I think Jalen Reagor can eat this year. I think Greg Ward, anybody that you put in the slot is going to be able to eat. If you can't eat in the Eagles offense playing the slot, this might not be the offense for you, right? Like you're on team's third or fourth best cornerback, right? So it's only 2 linebackers on the field, right? You don't have a linebacker in your space a ton of the time. So I can see that. And for me, it's like you still got to worry about Dallas Goedert. You know what I mean? It's so much, and you still got to, bro. You still got to worry about Gainfield coming out the backfield on your linebacker.
Yeah.
And this is why you still got to worry about Miles Sanders. This is why, everybody talks about Jalen Hurts. Not necessarily being on the hot seat, but I would say Nick Sirianni is on the clock because last year, to me, it didn't matter the personnel that we had. The problem was the play call. The problem was, I had wide receivers, like in 5 yards within each other. Like, that's not football. Like, how can I get open if I'm 2 yards away from, my teammate? To me, that's spacing problems, right? That's offense issues. And so I need Nick Sirianni. Yeah, the quarterbacks gets a ton of praise when he deserves it and when he doesn't deserve it. But I think Nick Sirianni, I got to keep a close eye on him because you can give Jalen Hurts the best of the best. But I say this all the time. Jalen cannot call the play and run the play. He only can run the play that is called. So Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, these guys are married at the hip to each other. What's it going to look like? It's yet to be seen. But Howie Roseman has done the best that he can to allow those guys to succeed. But what I will say is this, and here's why I think A.J. Brown will eclipse the 1,000-yard mark. Man, the sweetest thing about making money? For me, the sweetest thing is not making money by myself. The sweetest thing about making money is when you can make it with your brother, when you can make it with your family. You got to understand, this is a big-time year for Jalen, right? A.J. Brown, he got his $100 million, right? So you don't think A.J. Brown, like, he didn't come to Philadelphia to see Jalen not there. Like, imagine A.J. Brown in Philly without Jalen. He is trying to help Jalen get his bag, all right? Jalen Hurts, he talked to Howie, put in a word for AJ, say, hey, man, this is a guy you guys might want to bring in. They brought him in, and now AJ Brown is going to repay Jalen Hurts that favor. Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, rather, is going to help Jalen Hurts get his big-time contract. And to do that as your best friend helping you doing that, you got to think about this, bro. That's why back in the day with Donovan McNabb and Terrell, they had that feud, right? They weren't brothers. It was 2 men trying to get a check. It was 2 men, they wanted to be great, but they wasn't united. You have a wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver in the league, right? Talent-wise, who is your best friend, trying to help you get your money. No disruptions, no none of that. No off the field lifting weights and popcorn ready and all of that, right? So that's why I believe A.J. Brown is going to have success because he wants to make sure that Jalen gets his money. As his best friend, I'm gonna come to Philly and help you collect your money from Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, usually me and you don't disagree, but there is actually one thing I disagree on that one.
Yes, sir.
And that's the Nick Sirianni thing. I actually give Nick a lot of credit, man. But I can't honestly sit here and tell you how many coaches can go and 8 weeks in completely 180 an offensive play style. We went from an all passing offense to an all running offense in the middle of the season. That's kind of complicated to do, and I'm sure you understand that. That's a huge mentality switch for an entire offense. So to be able to adapt like that, now granted you adapted too late, we asked you to do this much sooner, but the point is he still adapted to it, and it seemed as the weeks went on, he got better at adapting quicker. So as seeing that progression from him, I don't lean on him as much. The one I'm leaning on this year is JG and Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning on JG because, dude, Howie went out and gave you all the tools on defense. You complained last year you didn't have the players for your scheme. Not all the players fit. Well, now you have the pieces. You have no excuses. There is no more bullshit. If you do not make it work, I'm coming to a realization that you just suck.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. And hopefully Nick Sirianni has the balls to fire his best friend. Okay? And we can just move on. Or he's going to really make it work, and then we're going to lose him next year anyway. So,
right.
Either way, he's probably gone.
Right.
We'll lose. But Nick, I saw a lot of good things in him last year. Started out rough, ended strong. I see a really good bond between Nick and Howie. And I really believe this new Howie is because of Nick. So if that's the case, I want to keep this Howie ball moving. Wow, that sounds really fucking weird. But so I'm all for it, man.
No, I definitely respect that take. And what I was saying about Nick is not to sort of slight the progression that he did, make as a head coach. Anytime you have a young quarterback with a young defensive, coach and a young head coach, I feel like their head coach, you have to hold them responsible, right? Like you can't try to hold Jalen responsible, all these players responsible, and just Nick just be in the corner. Like my biggest thing with Nick Sirianni, to be honest, I think he's a hell of a coach. I really do. I think he has the makings of a hell of a coach. My biggest thing is not even just like him, switching this offense from a passing offense to a running offense so late in the season. It was the playoff game, man. When it was the playoff game and the game before the playoff game. Well, when we played the Giants, I think it was the Cowboys, and we wanted to make sure that Devontae Smith, got the rookie wide receiver record right for yards in the season. But then you get to a playoff game and you don't find a way to get Devontae Smith the ball. And as a head coach, as a fan, I question that. I still don't understand how is it that he knew to get Devontae Smith the ball in a game that really didn't matter, but then you get to the biggest game of your rookie season as a head coach, and Devontae Smith, your number one overall, your 10th pick, right, first overall pick for your team, he doesn't touch the ball to the second half, right? So I'm saying, just like we say quarterbacks, we want to see quarterbacks take a leap from year one to year two. I'm going to go ahead and pull Nick Sirianni into that same category and say, hey, I want to see you take a step as a head coach from year one to year two. I mean, we did the same thing with Doug Peterson. Like, he just took that step. It was a big step, right? It was a big step, right? Nobody thought we could get to the Super Bowl, but, I just want to see progression. I want to see him get his superstars the ball. I want to see him be able to more consistency offensively. You know what I mean? And he has more pieces. So do I think he can do it? Hell yeah, I think Nick Sirianni can do it. If he can't, my question to you is this. If this offense doesn't do what you think it's going to do, who would be the first to blame? Let's say Jalen plays solid, right? Everybody playing solid, but the offense just can't get going. Who do we hold accountable?
This is why I love having you on, man, because sometimes you make me think. First off, I look at two things. I would look at one, play calling.
Mm-hmm.
I would go back through the games and I would look at play calling, see what Nick was actually calling. And then two, I would go and I'd probably look at Jalen Hurts' execution. What was Nick Sirianni calling the right plays and Jalen just wasn't executing it right? Or was it shitty play calling and Jalen was just kind of improvising and going on his own and making it work? Like there's two variations to it, in my opinion. But,
Right.
I mean, it just all depends on how you look at it, because there is an instance where a player might have the talent and the ability to succeed, but a coach is holding them back, or a player isn't that talented enough like they hoped, and there's what's holding the team back. Like for instance, Big Ben the last 2 years, they've been holding the Steelers back. So I just look at it and I put it on both, but if Jalen does his job, dude, I can't really blame it on him, can I?
Yeah, you're right. And so here's my thing. What I don't like about the Eagles offense, and it has nothing to do about the players, it's more about the system, right? Even though Jalen Hurts is in the same system for his second straight year, right? This is his first time doing this. I don't know how many years. It's never been done in his career, his young career. I don't know who the play caller is, right?
Yeah.
1 week last year it was Nick Sirianni. The next week it was Shane Steichen. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, I need Howie Roseman to get Nick and Shane in the boardroom and say, hey guys, I need one voice, right? I need one voice, because when you're dealing with a young quarterback, 1 week he can't be listening to Nick, because now Nick he's being the motivator, he's being the head coach, he's being he's trying to challenge plays, he's doing all of these things, just like we need Jalen Hurts, just like we found out what Jalen Hurts' weaknesses was last year. I think we saw some of Nick Sirianni's weaknesses, right? And so my thing is, you can't have a whole bunch of voices in your young quarterback's ear. To me, that is the only kryptonite that may hold up the Philadelphia Eagles offense. I don't need Jalen Hurts listening to multiple people. Get him in a rhythm, right? Because you got his quarterback coach saying one thing, right? Then you got Shane Steichen saying another thing, and Nick Sirianni saying another thing. It's too many voices. I believe that with Nick, I think this will happen, and I'll put it on record, be it this year, next year, the following year. At some point, I believe Nick Sirianni, if he wants to be the best version of Nick Sirianni, he's going to have to give up play calling. I look at Nick Sirianni. If Nick Sirianni can do what Andy Reid did, right, drop his pride, let Marty Morningwig come in and run the offense and be that motivational leader on offense and defense, I think Nick Sirianni can trend in the right direction and be great for the Eagles. But right now, him trying to be the head coach, the motivator, get Jalen Hurts up to speed, to me, it's too much for a young head coach. That's my only concern about this offense right now, is who is going to be in Jalen Hurts' ear week to week. Got to have some kind of consistency.
It should only be Johnson, because that's the QB coach. And the only reason that I say that is because mainly the stuff that comes from Johnson's going to come from Nick anyway. And half the time, I mean, that's Johnson's job. He is a QB coach. Half the time, Nick probably doesn't even have to tell him. He just automatically knows. Mm-hmm. So you're right. You saw it with Carson Wentz in 2017. Whenever he had who was his
Filippo.
Yeah, Filippo. He had one voice. He had one person in his ear, and the kid went out there and he balled out.
He took off.
Yeah, so it does matter, and I believe that's what the difference was last year in the second half compared to the first. I believe Nick and them threw the book at Jalen and just said, go out there and run it, because he is smart. He can absorb the playbook very fast, and he proved that. And I believe he did know the playbook and he knew what he was doing, but because he was so young and so raw, and he still is raw and still learning, sometimes there is a little bit too much. So what they did by doing the run game was scale back the offense a little bit, simplify it so he can learn on the go. So
well, you know what I disagree just a smidgen, because I don't necessarily think the narrative should be he didn't learn the playbook or had a problem learning it, because from college he's had multiple playbooks. Talk about Alabama,
for sure.
You talk about Oklahoma. I think Jalen's problem was getting the reps. Like it's like if you never saw what let's just say Joey Bosa, if you don't know what Josie Boa's go-to move is playing against the Chargers when you do a 5-step drop back, right? You have to do that in real time, right? The coaches may say, hey, Jalen, we want you to do a 5-step, but Jalen knows Joey Bosa is going to be there in 3 steps, so maybe he needs to speed it up, and do a 2-step.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think it's more so of just game reps, and I think that's what people we don't give them that pass to say, you know what, the kid has Jalen Hurts played all 32 teams in this league? No, like there's still teams he has never played for in his life. I mean, played against in his life, right? So I think it's more so the live reps that he hasn't had. But obviously we know, hey, you're going to get these live reps. So now you got to get better, right? So for me, it's all about Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts being on the same page. If they can get on the same page, which I believe they are, and Jonathan Gannon can just do what he needs to do, I find it very hard for the Eagles to lose, because it's too many leaders on this team. It's too many champions on this team that understands the roller coaster of games, the ups and downs. And then your quarterback is that type of dude where he's like, man, pick your heads up. Listen, we got 2 more drives to go. We can still win this thing, right? So the Eagles have an amazing nucleus right now. I think even Jalen Hurts admitted it. He said, listen, I'm not a rookie anymore. Do you understand? See, some people might have heard him say, I'm not a rookie anymore. What I heard Jalen Hurts say was, I'm not afraid not to be a rookie anymore. I'm not afraid that you're going to sit there and put the target on my back. Listen, Jalen Hurts, when he got on Alabama's campus at 18 years old, bro, he led them to a championship game with raw talent, right? Raw talent. So for me, this thing, that's why it's so exciting, because you really feel what Jalen is saying. He said, yo, all that is left is for us to climb. We just got to climb. The Eagles, we can't go back down. All we got to do is climb, right? And guys just play their role, play Eagle brand of football, and I think we're going to be right where we all can be.
Yeah, no, man. And that's the thing. A lot of people are too harsh on Hurts. I understand, listen, I understand everyone's opinion. Sometimes I don't agree with what people say, but I'm not going to sit there and argue it either. You want to say the kid doesn't have an arm, I'll agree to disagree. I will give you the accuracy. I will give you throwing open wide receivers. Yeah. I will give you that nonsense. That's stuff that can be worked on. That's mechanical. He can fix that. That comes also with confidence in yourself and the wide receiver you're throwing to. All that stuff matters. But whenever it comes to his strength, no. Do I believe sometimes he's lazy and underthrow it? Yes. But when he really does put on it, he can really whip the ball. But I believe that will show this season, especially after working with Tom House. I believe you'll see a difference in velocity when he releases the ball, because that's actually what Tom's method is supposed to be about, is more velocity. and having pinpoint accuracy rhythm in your throwing motion, which will give you a more powerful release. So I think it's only going to get better. A lot of people sit there and they want to say, well, Jalen only had 16 touchdowns last year, 9 interceptions. Wrong. He had 26 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Everybody forgets about the 10 touchdowns that he rushed. And as far as I'm concerned, whether it's throwing or passing, a touchdown is a touchdown is a touchdown. Mm-hmm. So he had 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I don't care if he ran it in or threw it in. It don't matter. Every touchdown wins a game, right?
Yeah.
So it does not matter to me. He had this damn near the same exact stats as Carson Wentz last year. And everybody was like, oh my God, the Indianapolis Colts got rid of Carson? What? But yeah, Jalen did the same thing, and we're all like, So I don't get it, bro. We are very tough. I understand that, but I said it, man. When screw Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen and them, because when you get talents like that in this league, bro, everyone wants that. Then everyone expects it, and it's like, dude, that's a rare commodity. Like that doesn't happen. Do you know how you get that? You have to suck to get that. Do you know why we don't have that? Because we've never actually truly sucked to be that bad to get one. Yeah. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It's like I say, man, it's the microwave league, man. Patrick Mahomes and Josh, they kind of destroyed our league, because people want that right away. Nobody wants to wait. That's our society. It's some McDonald's league. Like, I need the number 5 now, like in 2.5 seconds or so. I think, Jalen Hurts, if you just let the kid grow, if you just let him grow, man, and let him do what he's doing. Guys, you quarterbacks, think about this. Quarterbacks are playing until 40, right? Tom Brady, 40, 60 years old, right? Just think about Jalen at 33. Think about him at 34, where Russell is, right? Russell hasn't slowed down a bit, right? But just think about Jalen. He's 23 years old. In 10 years, Jalen Hurts will be 33 years old, and that's still considered young, especially at the quarterback position. This kid, the ceiling is the floor for Jalen. I truly believe it because it's his mindset, right? So we see what a bad mindset can land you. It can land you as the current quarterback of the Washington Commanders, right? So for Jalen to be at this point where he is, I'm okay with it, and I'm happy to grow with Jalen. Yeah. I really am. I'd rather the Eagles be in this situation than any other situation. And you still got 2 first-round picks next year. You could continue to build around them. And that's why I said on Twitter, man, like, is it just me? Like, do you guys not feel that in the air? Like, do you not feel the Eagles, like, being this sustainable dynasty, if dare I say it, right? Like, the culture is there. Like, dynasty is a culture. It's a culture thing. And it's so crazy because I ran into Danny Amendola today.
I heard you say that. Yeah, that's so cool, man.
At the airport, man. And it was so crazy because I saw him, because I'm in the truck. I can't get out the truck. And I seen him, and I said, he kind of glanced my way, and I said, "You used to play ball?" He's like, "Yeah, Danny Amendola." And he walked up, because I knew it was him. I see him. But he walks up to the glass and he, gives me a fist pound. I just say, you know what? That's humble, man.
Right.
That's what it took to play and to do what he did with the Patriots, man, is to just be a regular guy. And that's what Jalen Hurts is, a regular guy. Now, I wish the Philadelphia Eagles could have, who had the opportunity to grab Danny Amendola, the Eagles. You know what number he wore? Number 11. Right, we gave him his first opportunity, but whatever. But man, I say all that to say, you got to have the right guys in the locker room. and the Eagles have that, man. So I'm excited, and I'm just anticipating this year, man, because the Kobe Dean as our middle linebacker. Like, sorry, TJ Edwards. You know what I mean? Like, I love you, but it's Nakobe Dean, right? Like, I just wanted to see him get a sack and just do one of those, bro. I'm losing it. I'm going to lose it, boy. And it's so crazy because that's what the Eagles were missing, man. We were missing that leader at the linebacker position. And I liken Nakobe Dean to D'Amico Ryans, man, in terms of leadership, man. This kid is 21 years old, man. And when you have guys in the locker room that respond to the leaders, man, that's different. That's something that you can't buy. Like, you can pay for all the top players all you want to, but if one player doesn't respect the other player, doesn't matter, right? So I think, like Jalen Hurts said, it's the perfect time to get excited in Philadelphia. It really is.
Yeah, no, man, it's a great team, and I've always said it. We're around the same age, and it's a big saying, and it should be a big saying today because I strongly believe it. Defenses win championships.
Yeah.
Hands down, they do. Everyone wants to say, "Oh, well, that's bull crap. Look at ours. We set a record for over 1,000 yards of offense in the Super Bowl." And it's like, yeah, but what won the Super Bowl? BG strip sack. Defense. Yeah. Defense wins championships. It's just factual. And that's the one thing I gotta say, man, is this defense is nasty. Okay, I'm telling you, bro. Like, if I am any team, dude, if I'm Carson Wentz, my knees are chattering together when I step up. All right. When you got Riddick, you got Hargraves, you got Cox, you got Davis, Williams, BG, Sweat, Barnett, we'll count him in there. Don't know how much he'll get, but and even Williams can play on the outside as well. Yeah. Like, dude, that is just a nasty front four right there. That's 7 dudes who are powerhouses.
Yeah. The Eagles are literally telling you, they're daring you to throw to Darius Slay or Bradley, and they're daring you to run the ball up the middle. That's exactly what they're doing, man. And so I wanted to respond to Papa Sore. I did my research, and Nakobe Dean is actually getting a start at the middle linebacker position. He is not an outside linebacker. White is more so of a right side or left side outside linebacker. Nakobe Dean is the general of this Eagles defense, and the general does not play nowhere but the middle. So I would be very shocked if Nakobe Dean was playing on the outside. Doesn't mean in certain blitz packages or nickel schemes that we run that he can't give a look there, but I think primarily he's going to be middle linebacker because it was a reporter that said, "Hey, Dean, where do they have you at?" He said, "I'm starting at middle linebacker." So, yeah.
Yeah, bro, it pissed me off every time Birdman said defenses don't win championships. Like, all the respect to the dude, but bro, no, 100% wins championships. Yeah, no, dude, it's always been about defenses. Offenses get you to the playoffs, and they'll get you all the way to the Super Bowl, but in the end, the Super Bowl is ultimately won on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, dude, look at whenever Seattle stonewalled Denver. How many times did Denver 40-point people that year? They had the number 1 overall scoring offense in the league, right? And, dude, the Seattle Seahawks just come in and steamroll these dudes. Yeah. I stopped watching that Super Bowl at halftime. It was so bad. You remember that?
Yeah, that was bad.
That's championship defense. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, and we need to get back to that form, dude. The last couple of years we've been able to get ran on. So,
that ran through.
Oh my God, dude. It was embarrassing because, dude, when you looked at 2017 we completely dropped off in the last 5 years. Because 17, bro, you couldn't run on us. 18, no. 19, kind of. 20, yeah.
Have your
Last year, definitely.
have your
So
way.
yeah, wrong way. Somebody had to hit the rewind button real fast. But hey, I think we might have done it now, dude. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's just too many dudes on this defense and offense. Like I said, I'm not going to put too much expectation on this season. I'm looking for a big season defensively. I'm looking for some guys to really separate themselves. Offensively, I'm looking for that leap, that jump from everybody. So it's listen. I think this season, man, the next 3 years is going to be crazy. It really is. Like I'm just so excited, man, to be an Eagles fan, man. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to root for any other organization in the league right now. The Eagles have given their fan base every reason, man, to be excited going into this year, man. So now we just wait and see.
Oh yeah, man. No, and I think Bradbury kind of put the icing on the cake. I'm okay with rolling with Epps for right now. I really am. I always have said it. Epps is built with a Madden truck stick. Like, dude, this kid can hit.
Yeah, he can.
And he's always at the right place at the right time. He had a couple nice interceptions last season. He plays with his heart, bro, and he balls out. He gives you everything he's got. So, and he can tackle. He truly is a solid tackler. So I'm willing to give him a year, see what he's got. If something happens and he keeps getting burnt, come the trade deadline, if you want to go after a safety, then go then. But at least give him a chance to screw up.
Yeah. So how I would treat Marcus Epps, I would treat him like Howie Roseman treated the running back position when we won the Super Bowl, right? Like you need somebody like right towards the trade deadline. Howie started to say and see, okay, well we could actually get somewhere if we added another dynamic piece, right? And so I think come trade time, depending on how he plays, if I'm Howie and the Bengals and Jesse still isn't on that field, I'm giving up a second and whatever to go get Jesse Bates. So we'll see. I don't think we need him to win it all, but I think having a Jesse Bates, I mean, you listen, when I go to Chick-fil-A, bro, and I get a spicy chicken sandwich, and I say, can I get the large chocolate milkshake? They say, Mr. Gary, would you like a cherry on top? I say, yes, man. All right. Jesse Bates, okay, this all season, you added Jesse Bates. That's my cherry on top. All right. There's no disrespect to Marcus Epps. And I think Eagles fans everywhere, I think they stand correct in this idea and this emotion that we're unsure, right? It's Marcus Epps has never been presented to us as a full-time starting safety. He's always been sort of dangled in front of our eyes as this rotational piece, this guy, this sort of journeyman. So to throw him in our face and say, "Hey, take him," hey, that's a little much, right? So for me, Jesse Bates, man, 25 years old, and here's why I like Jesse Bates, right? And here's why he's the only safety I would trade for, right? We talked about how these young players, Nakobe Dean, Devontae Smith, those guys, they have the championship pedigree at the collegiate level, right? So now you got guys that won it in college, the championship. Now you got Fletcher Cox, guys that won a Super Bowl, just a few years ago. Then you add in a Jesse Bates who played in the Super Bowl last year, right? So these guys know what it takes, right? I'm going all in for Jesse Bates because he understands what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. The moment's not too big for him, but listen, Marcus Epps, you have my blessing up until the trade deadline. You get out there and you start getting burnt. If people start getting their butter knives out to get butter, okay, it's gonna be a problem. I'm just saying, like.
Well, and Scoob, it's not really out of the picture, bro. Because as far as I know, Jesse Bates said he won't play under a franchise tag, and as far as I know, he never signed his franchise tag. So, yeah, he's not out of the picture. Like, he would have to sign that for him to be out of the picture, and until he signs it, he's not out of the picture, because that it wouldn't. How's that work, by the way? I'm not. These situations rarely happen. So, if he doesn't sign his franchise tag, does he become a free agent at a certain point?
No, they're just going to be forced to trade him because in their eyes, the Bengals are like, that's just $15 million sitting on the sideline. So then, and that's why the Eagles, they're just going to wait it out because they're not going to have to give up a first-round pick because you got a guy who's sitting there. I mean, it's similar to the A.J. Brown situation, right? Like, he wasn't franchise tagged, but he was on this last year. He was going to be franchise tagged, and it's just like, just get rid of him because we're not going to pay him. So Bengals are just going to have to make a move.
No, Scoob, I get it. They don't trade their stars, but that's stars who signed their franchise tag. This man hasn't signed it, which means they couldn't play him anyway, even if they wanted to, because he didn't sign his franchise tag.
Yeah, if he signed it, then he's technically legally obligated to put that helmet on. But because he didn't pick up that pen,
signature means a lot. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I get they don't trade him, but if he never signs it, they're kind of forced to trade him because he's not going to play anyway. So instead of paying him, by the way, I think it's only $12 million, which is the cap hit.
11.
Yeah, 11. So instead of paying him $11 million to just sit at home, they're going to trade him. He's forcing them to trade him by not signing the franchise tag.
And you know why? Because, which is weird, because I feel like they should just go ahead and pay him now because they're going to have to pay Joe Burrow, right? His money is coming, and you got to pay Jamar Chase, right? So they got a lot of guys over there they got to pay. So if there's anybody I'm going to take care of early and often, it would be Jesse Bates because you take Jesse Bates out of that.
Plus, they drafted 3 safeties. You don't draft 3 safeties if you're planning on keeping Jesse Bates.
Yeah. Listen, so East Coast, I agree, but I disagree because it's like when you say Jesse was not great until the playoffs, that's like saying, I don't know, like if your defense goes to the Super Bowl and you're a part of that, you're a part of that. Like it's something was great about what he did. See, a lot of times guys look for production and they don't count the fact that a guy's presence alone means a lot. Like you talk about presence, let's see what the Packers do this year without Devontae Adams. We're going to find all about presence. We're going to see about presence. So maybe he didn't have his best year, but, I mean, you got to group him in there.
You know, here's the thing, man. This is where me and East Coast don't see eye to eye because we had this conversation before, and it's not even an argument. You know, it's just an opinion. You know, he says this about Jesse, but man, my weak point for Cincinnati was Eli Apple. Eli Apple is what tanked that defense. Eli Apple is the reason that they didn't win that Super Bowl. I thought Eli Apple was truly the weakest link on there. I mean, that dude was burnt toast the whole time. Like, he could do nothing. And Jesse Bates, like, dude, if you're a safety, you can only do so much with what you have to work with. He can't cover 2 positions at one time, especially whenever, you know, Eli Apple's over there getting burnt every single freaking play. You know, he can't play deep and play middle at the same time. Like, I understand he might have not had a great season, but that's not just on him. That's also based on the players around him, which is AKA Eli Apple.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know how the Bengals got to the Super Bowl with that defense. I'm be honest, that defense is atrocious. That defense is atrocious. So when you got guys like Jesse Bates, who is able to hold it down, I gotta. Nah.
Yeah, but see, you say that, bro, but that shows me who is actually the real deal and who isn't. Because even though that their corners were good in the regular season, their corners sucked in the playoffs. Jesse shined in the playoffs. Okay, Jesse shined in the playoffs around people who were in the playoffs who were meant to be there. Therefore, shows me when it meant the most, Jesse showed up. So he might not have played great in the regular season, but when it mattered most, he played great. And that's all that matters to me. To where when a Woozy and Apple sucked, that's when it was the most crucial moments. That's what tells you the men from the kids.
A
In
losing
my
apples. A losing at bad apples.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So when Jesse shines in the playoffs, I look at that as a positive because hey, he can fucking handle the playoffs. He's shown me now, okay, you can play good in the playoffs. I don't give a shit if you play decent in the regular season as long as you don't blow games. But when playoff time comes, be Jesse Bates.
And
You
when
know, I'm okay with that.
yeah, and honestly, the only reason why I like Jesse Bates a lot is because, again, Darius Slay is light years better than Eli Apple. Bradbury is light years better than his. So
Oh yeah.
you put Jesse Bates and you give him big play Slay and Bradbury and the kind of front that the Eagles have with
He
the
can free roam, bro.
yeah, yeah. He completes this offseason. So whether we get him now or later, Howie needs to go ahead and pull that trigger. Because I like Marcus Epps, but yeah, Tom Brady is going to circle him with a big old yellow marker and say, yeah, this is the guy I want to attack. So, but I mean, like I said before, man, it's hard not to be smiling. You know what I mean, from ear to ear as an Eagles fan. You know, I'm entertained. See, this is what I love. Like the Eagles have been entertained in this feel good feeling, and I haven't paid $1. I haven't bought one ticket. And I mean, this is free. This is what football is all about, man. And I can't wait to purchase my ticket to the Commanders game. So,
Yeah, you know what's funny as shit, bro? Just
yeah.
like 2 months ago, everyone was sitting here like, God, this is the most boring off season ever. This sucks. Now look at it, bro. Everybody's like juiced up.
Yeah. I remember because we was talking offline. Like, bro, we was going through. We was like, man, what's going on? I would just hear our cries, man. Like, boom! It's just this atomic bomb just like happened. Like this man just like attacked C4 to like everything, and he said, "I got something for him." You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. But I'm
So I gotta ask you real quick, man. I bet you gotta get going here soon.
yeah.
So who is your breakout player for this team this year? Like your top guy out of all of them.
My breakout player.
Well, we'll do one each, offense and defense. There we go.
Offensively, man, I gotta go with Jalen. I think Jalen shows everyone this year that with the proper talent and the proper nucleus around him, that he can be that guy. Like, and what I saw in Jalen when he was younger meaning a rookie, is I seen a switch. Jalen has a switch ability, much like Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying he has the same arm. I'm not saying that he's on his level just yet.
It's a mentality thing.
Yeah, it's a mentality thing. When Jalen wants to take over a game, it's over. He's taking over that game. Like, he's a rookie trucking Buda Baker, one of the best safeties in this league has to date, right, in this new era. So Jalen is definitely my breakout player. You know, I think people are going to always nitpick his game. That just comes with the territory for any Philadelphia Eagles quarterback. But I think because of the dynamic weapons that he has around him, I don't think the weapons are going to allow him to fail. You know, so I think Jalen's going to have a huge year. Defensively, I'm gonna go to Old Faithful, man. I'm gonna go with Fletcher Cox. I'm gonna go with Fletcher Cox because a lot of people when you look at guys across the league and you look at Aaron Donald, you look at the stats and it's like, whoa, like 15 sacks, like crazy tackle for losses. That's great. But is he seeing double teams? Aaron doesn't see double teams a lot. He really doesn't. Doesn't get them, yes, but he doesn't see it as often, as frequent as Fletcher Cox. When you talk about adding a guy like Jordan Davis who automatically eats up blocks, that means Fletcher Cox gets one-on-ones, Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham, and those guys. To me, this is going to be a year where, I mean, think about it. The Eagles gave Fletcher Cox that huge contract, and they just said, we need that back. We need you to sort of reprove yourself, right? Fletcher is still young, bro. It's very interesting to see so many Eagles fans out there and, media personnel sort of write Fletcher off like this guy just doesn't have anything left in the tank. And I made this point on Twitter. I talked about how, one thing Howie Roseman will do, if you're an aging veteran and you still have something left in the tank, he will pay you, right? He paid Brandon Graham, and he's 34, turning 35, coming off a Achilles tear, right? You talk about Jason Kelsey. There was a time where he had questions. You talk about Jason Peters. We got him at 31, and he didn't leave till 80, right? So, seriously, man, it's just like still, right? Cox is a guy. He had like the idea that Fletcher helps us win our first title, and he doesn't deserve to retire a Philadelphia Eagle all because we got Jordan Davis. No, I think Jordan Davis, he extends. This is why you trade up, because a lot of people say, well, why would you trade up to get a Jordan Davis at 13 when you already have Fletcher Cox? Well, duh, you do it to extend the career of Fletcher Cox, to extend the career of Brandon Graham, right? So guys are not just keying in on Fletcher Cox. So my breakout player on defense is going to be Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox is the backbone of this defense. He truly is, right? And just a little side note, talking about the defense, what I love is we have the leaders at all phases. Defensive front, Fletcher Cox is the leader. Linebacker, Nakobe Dean is the leader. Secondary, Darius Slay is the leader, right? At all phases, we have leaders. So Jalen Hurts is my offensive breakout guy. Defensive, I got to go with Fletcher Cox.
I like that, man. All right, I'm going to blow your mind on both of mine. Number one, I'll start with the offensive side of the ball. My breakout player this year is no one other than Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I give you that.
Miles Sanders is going to have at least probably 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. I'm calling it now, dude. I think his mentality's back. I think he understands what this means, and I think if healthy, he's going to go off this year, and I think it's going to be a very, very good year for him. And then on defense, man, I'm giving it to the underdog, hands down, bro. Nakobe Dean. Listen, I'm telling you right now, this kid's going to have 130 plus tackles his rookie year. Watch. Like this kid has been dogged on. He's been doubted. In the draft, he fell that far. He is a top 15 talent, and he got taken at 83. Man, that is some reason to be pissed.
That's so disrespectful.
Right? And now you got to sit here and you are lining up right behind your best friend, Jordan Davis. And, dude, that picture is all too familiar for him.
Yeah.
He's going to feel right at home, and he's going to nestle in real good. And I'm telling you, man, this kid is going to be everywhere, sideline to sideline, north to south. Like, he is going to be a force to reckon with for a long time.
Yeah. I'm honestly, bro, if I didn't go with the guys I selected, I probably would have said those same two guys. I really believe that Miles Sanders, he's going to eat. He's going to eat just because the wide receivers who we have on the outside, the Eagles, we're going to be, I think this year, like, instead of being like run heavy or pass heavy, I think this is the year where we're like an actual balanced offense. So I like Miles Sanders there. I want to just throw this idea out because I know sometimes things happen we just freak out and we're like, oh, another year. If, knock on wood, if Miles Sanders were to get injured and it was like he missed 5 or 6 games, something like that, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think Miles Sanders, he's number one, he's a Harrisburg guy. He's from Philly, right? He's from PA. So I think, you know, if it comes down to where he could get a hometown discount, I think it'd be good for the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Like, if he balls out, I don't know how much we pay him, bro. I don't know. Something tells me Miles Sanders is not getting Ezekiel Elliott type money, even if he balls out, right? So I like that pick. We need Miles Sanders. We do. We need Miles Sanders to be healthy. We need him for this offense. We need him to be that bell cow running back that we've been missing, man. And that's why it sucks, man. If there's one coach that I would love for the Eagles to somehow bring back in some capacity or to come get his job back, that'd be Deuce Staley, man. Like, I don't think – I like our current running backs coach. He's good, but I think Deuce Staley had a way as a former player, a former Eagle, to connect, right, with these running backs. But I think the Eagles are going to be fine. Jacoby Dean, man, it's just the perfect situation. The perfect situation. I'm kind of glad he kind of got overlooked. I am, because he's going to carry that chip. And shout out to Chip Kelly, man. We always say his name every year. Oh, he carry that chip on his shoulder. I'm just glad he got picked in the 3rd round, because he's going to carry that with him his entire career. And I think ultimately he will retire an Eagle. I think Jordan Davis will retire an Eagle, because, you know, when the team takes a chance on you, when everybody overlooked you, that team was always going to have a special place in your heart, man. And I'm excited to see all of these young players kick off their season in that midnight green. Oh, my goodness. Imagine. Woo, Jalen is so swaggy. Imagine Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Jacoby Dean, Jordan Davis in that all-black Eagles uniform with that all-black helmet. Oh, my goodness.
Yo, and if they even do good this year and they all stick around, they get Kelly Greens next year.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. They're definitely sticking around.
Right.
But, man, to see Jordan Davis in that Kelly Green, to see Jacoby Dean, oh, man, it's going to be – this is exciting. I cannot reiterate this.
Yeah.
It's exciting times in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts hit that on the head. It's exciting times to be a Philadelphia Eagle, and we still have 2 first-round picks, bro. It's crazy, man. I'm about to play Madden right now just to get my mind right. This is nuts, man. It truly is. I feel I didn't think the Eagles could really make me feel this proud, man. And I'm proud because, you know, we've waited such a long time. I think we waited such a long time to be great. And I think we're going to be great sustainably, not just for a season, not just for 2017 and then fall off the cliff. I mean, Eagles fans, we deserve more than that. I mean, I thought Doug Peterson and Jalen was going to be a tandem to be, you know, reckoned with for years to come. And then it just blows up, right? And when something blows up like that, man, you just blow up my house right now. I'm not going to have another house next week, right? But it seemed like the Eagles, it blew up, and they was able to get their house back together very fast. So as we started this video, as you know, kudos to you, man, for really directing our attention to the work that Howie Roseman has done. You know, he has really done some great work. I don't have anything negative to say. I don't, you know, and I said, you know, real men know how to apologize, right? So Howie Roseman, I want to look you in the eye and I want to apologize.
Me too.
I'm sorry. Eyes wrong, Howie. Eyes wrong.
Right? Yeah. No, I feel bad, man. But you know what? Hey, like I said, the dogging on him, it was deserved. So, you know, he took his lumps, but hey, you paid us back. You know, but the one thing real quick before you go, I love what you were talking about. You know, if we can get say Miles does go off this year and he does get 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns, that's truly 1 year of production out of him. Yes, we've had good production from him his first 3 years, but he never broke 1,000 yards. He had good yards per carry. His average was good, but touchdowns, no yards, mediocre for what we wanted him to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can get him on probably a cheap hometown discount, 1 year deal, prove it deal first, and then go from there. And two, that also goes for Jalen Hurts. I mean, say this kid comes out, he balls out this year, and he goes and he does really well. He takes us back to the playoffs. He wins his well, we'll just say a wild card game first. He wins the wild card game. He goes on to the divisional and he loses. Okay, he won. That's progress. And you can continue doing that, and especially if he looks good, his accuracy's there, his completion percentage is on, and his touchdown interception ratio is very good, and his yards are decent.
Yeah.
And he seems like the offense is moving. You can probably get Jalen Hurts for a pretty good deal. You look at all these high-priced quarterbacks right now, and they decide they want to move on with him. You can probably get Jalen Hurts for literally like 30 million.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, because he really hasn't done much yet. This is only going to be his second year, and if they choose to move on with him after this year, they're going to have to sign him. No ifs, ands, or buts. So you're getting him at a perfect time at a very young age. You can get him for just pennies on the dollar compared to what other people are paying. And then think about the cap room you have after that and how much that opens up. Then automatically those first two next year don't even have to go to a quarterback. So now you can just bolster the defense or offense any more than what it already is. Dude, it just keeps going. And if it goes the way we all are planning it to go, this team is going to fucking knock the socks off some people. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be disgusting. But it all depends on Jalen Hurts, Nick, and JG. Yeah. If they do it right, bro, this could be disgusting for a long time.
Yeah, man. If they do it right, man, we're taking flight. What I will say is, what I love about it, too, before we go, is, guys are committed. Guys are really committed, man. You take Jalen Hurts out of this picture, it doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. Like, you take AJ, and I say it again. I said, if you mess with, I tweeted this. I said, if you mess with Jalen Hurts, you're going to lose the locker room.
Yep.
Right, you're going to lose the locker room, and when you start losing guys, you might as well just blow everything up, right? So,
yep.
I think that they got the right guys in here, the right young core guys, committed. A lot of these guys are committed. They're bought in, and like you said, man, Eagles fans, pay close attention. Let's prepare ourselves for a great season to come. Let's prepare ourselves to continue to indulge and subscribe to my guy right here, man, aka Eagles, man, and get this channel up to 1,000, man. He's going to continue to feed us that good content, man. Just like the Eagles. So I'm excited, bro. You already know, anytime you need me on, you want me on the channel, bro, I'm here for you. Again, I salute you and your consistency. I salute you and just progressing with the channel and everything that you're doing, man. So you definitely have my respect, man. You know that online, offline. And, man, I think we better get excited for a very, very big season.
Yes, sir. And hey, man, I appreciate you for coming on. Like I said, I love talking football with you, man. It just flows. Like, no lie, guys, that was all no notes. Like, we just bullshitted for like the last 2 hours. Nothing. Most of us can just do that, and we work well together, man. And definitely stick around after for like a minute or two if you can. I want to talk to you about something. But yeah, no doubt. I really do appreciate having you on, man. It has been a minute. So much shit has happened, and I'm glad we got to discuss it because, we were talking about Jordan Davis, and then bam, it's a reality. So it's like, oh, God.
Right. That's crazy, bro.
So, yeah, shout out, man. We still have 12 people in here. Thank you all. chilling all night long
Ooh.
so far. Please, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 400, but we're definitely on our way to 1K. And please hit the notification bell so you know when I go live like this. And yeah, like I said, big announcement coming soon. Some changes are going to be made, and definitely appreciate everyone who has followed with us so far. So y'all have a great night. Fly Eagles fly, and let's win the NFC East. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.